welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Lauren. Today I'm going to be making African chicken stew. And I am so excited because I'm on like this healthy food journey, right? And I was trying to figure out, like, when I eat healthy, I definitely want to still eat good, but like just like without all the calories and stuff like that. So I think that making this chicken stew is really great because it'll stretch. So I'll be able to eat this all this week, and maybe if I get tired of it, I can freeze it and we can have it for dinner next week. And then I'm also excited because when I was younger, we used to live in an apartment building with these two girls. They were Nigerian. I had two younger sisters, and the two girls, they lived upstairs from us, and they were Nigerian. And one time we came home, or they came home or something like that, and they came downstairs with this chicken, and they were just like eating it on the stoop in the front. And we asked them because it smelled so good, and we asked them what it was, and they just called it African chicken. Or maybe we called it African chicken. I can't remember. Somebody called it African chicken. And they went upstairs and they showed us like the pot of the chicken, and they let us taste it, and it was so good. You know, like some things you just never forget as a child. That is something I will never forget because the chicken was so good. And that was probably one of the first times that I had a cuisine outside of like down home soul food. It was just so good to me, and I've never had it again since. I mean, they gave us like a chicken leg or something like that, and it was so good, y'all. So I don't know what made me think of it the other day when I was looking for meals to make, but I was just like, let me just try that. I just wanted to make something that was inexpensive and that was going to last us, and that's what I found. So that's what we're going to be making today. It's called chicken stew African style, and of course I'm following a recipe that I found online, so I'll link the recipe down below. But let's go ahead and get started. So I know I need some vegetable oil, so I'll pop this out here. Vegetable oil. I need some thyme. I already picked up my thyme. What else did it say? Paprika. I'm pretty sure I have paprika. I just have to find it. Oh no, that's chili powder. I just have to find it somewhere. I don't know. I'll look for that. But I also need some plum tomatoes, which I already have. It calls for quite a few tomatoes, so I'm gonna just grab this whole entire bag. Some tomatoes. Need a bouillon cube and a bay leaf. I think these are my bay leaves. Yep, bay leaf. Put that over here. By the way, I found my paprika, and I also needed a little bit of curry. What else did I ask for? Onions and green onions. So I'll grab this. The thing I need is chicken stock and some parsley. Bam. Oh, and the chicken. I got the chicken in the fridge as well. Let me grab that. Got the chicken. So the recipe, it doesn't specify what type of chicken. When I had it, like I said, I remember it was like chicken legs and breast and thighs. So that's what I decided to get. I actually got chicken quarters. So that's the thigh and the leg together. And I'm going to just like separate the leg from the thigh, and then I'm gonna cut the thigh into like two pieces so that they're more smaller and a little bit bite-sized, because these are a little bit big. And like I said, you can also add like chicken breast or chicken wings if you want. So I'm just gonna clean these off and then chop them into smaller pieces. All right, guys, so I've broken down our chicken. I got the chicken legs and the chicken thighs, and I'm glad these are a little bit more on the bigger or like the meatier side, because I think this is the perfect size for like a stew. Because if you're starting out with a piece of chicken and then you decide to cook it for like 4 to 5 hours, it'll break down to almost nothing. So I'm glad that these are a little bit meatier. So now I'm going to take one of these are all, ouch, crap, these are all of my pots down here. I'm gonna get my big, look at that. I'm gonna get my big enamel stock pot. This turquoise one. It is enamel crusted, and it'll hold the heat in really well. So like if you have like a big Dutch oven or something, that'll be really good. And I have the heat on high because we're going to heat some olive oil in the pan. and we're going to start browning our chicken. See there, but our pan is smoking, so now it's time to add in the chicken. I'm gonna do the skin side down, and before this pan makes all this noise, the goal is to brown each side of the chicken, but not to cook it all the way through. Well, it definitely won't cook it all the way through because these are too thick, but you just want to brown each side of the chicken so that the skin is nice and crisp and not slimy when you're done browning or making your stew. So that's what you're looking for, that nice sizzle sound. And you don't want to overcrowd the pan, just like 2 or 3 pieces at a time. Oh, not 2 or 3, like 3 or 4 pieces at a time. So I'm going to start out with these 4. And like I said, as they brown, I'm going to move them aside and start browning the other raw chicken. All right, y'all, this is probably unsettling to some because the outside is like cooked, but the inside is not, so it's kind of disgusting. But anyway, yeah, so I finished browning the chicken up, and I just set the pot. So it says that I'm supposed to blend the tomato, garlic, onions, and one other thing I forgot. I gotta look back at the recipe. But I'm supposed to blend all of those things, but I do not have a blender, of course. So I'm gonna like crush it with my hands, and yeah, and then I'm supposed to add the chicken back into the pot and then add the stuff into the pot. So let's get a move on it. I'm probably going to just chop up the tomatoes very, very finely, and then put them in there with like a little bit of chicken stock to kind of like be able to break it up with my hand and turn it into like a juicy pulp. And I'm going to mince, the garlic is already minced, and then the onions, I'll have to mince those very finely. See, this is what I don't show y'all on Cooking with Lauren. My eyes are burning. I would have just edited this part out. Oh my gosh, my eyes. Oh Lord. Alright, I got one more half to cut up. To this, I'm going to add a ton of minced garlic. I don't know how much it actually called for, but I'm just going to add a lot. So that's about a good enough amount. And then, like I said, my tomatoes are fresh, and they called for it to be blended. Oh my gosh. They call for the tomatoes to be blended, but I don't have a blender, so I'm just going to add a little bit of chicken stock, and then I'm going to actually crush this up with my hand as much as I possibly can to kind of get the juices to release from the tomatoes. All right, now we're going to add the chicken back into the pot. And we're going to add the tomato mixture right over top. This looks so good already. Get that working in there. Turn this up on high because we want this to come to a boil. I'm going to just kind of get my spoon in there and get some of those bits off the bottom, scrape some of those bits off the bottom of the pan. Those bits on the bottom of a pan pack a ton of flavor, and you want all of that to be incorporated into your sauce. So that's just a little tip and trick for when you're making this at home. Adding the rest of my seasonings. This is paprika, a bay leaf, curry powder, a bouillon cube, and that's pretty much it. That's it. So I'm going to add all of this to our pot of chicken. You just try to mix it everywhere that I can. And then I'm going to let this cook into the sauce, or penetrate the sauce. Really hard to stir because it has so much chicken in it. But it's already looking so good. This looks delicious actually, and the chicken is not even all the way cooked. This looks freaking amazing. Alright y'all, the very last thing I'm going to do is use 2 cups of chicken stock. Let's see, this is 32 ounces. So this will be half of this, because 2 cups is 16 ounces. So I'm going to pour this over our chicken. Good thing about cooking is you don't have to be like so precise in measuring. So that's about half, and I am going to just move this chicken around, make sure that all the chicken is submerged. Look at this, y'all. Look how good this looks. Submerge all the chicken into the broth. Then I am going to turn this on a very low flame, and I'm going to get one of my lids, and we're going to cover this. So it says let simmer for 20 to 30 minutes, but I'm actually probably going to let it go for 2 hours. I'm going to turn this on really low, and if your sauce starts to be a little bit thicker than what you need, then you can add more chicken stock throughout the cooking process. So I'm gonna just keep an eye on it and keep stirring it every few probably like every half hour or so until it's ready and the chicken is probably like falling off the bone. I can't wait to eat this. I'm going to serve mine up with cabbage because I'm going for a like gluten-free option. You guys can serve it up with like mashed potatoes or rice, whatever you feel you want to serve it up with. It's been about 2.5 hours, and here is what our chicken stew is looking like. Okay, it's looking really good. The chicken, the skin has just like fallen off of the bone. Okay, it's looking so good. Now throughout the cooking process, I did add some garlic salt because it needed some salt. So make sure depending on how much salt you like, you adjust the salt content. Now to finish it off, I have to chop up these green onions. I'm going to add in some parsley, and then I'm going to throw these into the pot and let these cook for another 5 minutes. But I am so ready to dig into this. I got me a spoon so that I can pick up the chicken. Oh my gosh, y'all, this chicken, look at this. This chicken is just falling off of the bone with like little to no effort. Look how tender that is. I'm gonna get some chicken and some of this like chicken skin that just cooked off. You guys could probably also make this in a slow cooker at home. Oh my gosh, it's so hot. I don't want this to burn my whole face off. This is excellent. Oh my goodness. It really tastes like, now backstory, it doesn't quite taste like the chicken that I remember, but the stew that I had when I was young, it was more of like a sticky paste, where this is almost like a soup. But it's really tasty and flavorful. I can taste like the garlic, and that chicken stock really took it up a notch. The recipe calls for water, but I thought that chicken stock would just add a ton more flavor than water would. And I think I might add like some tomato paste to it, because I really want to concentrate that tomato flavor. I think this is excellent for a dinner meal, especially right now in the fall when it's starting to get cold outside. This is the perfect meal for your family at home, and it's just so comforting. It tastes like comfort food, and I would absolutely serve this over rice or mashed potatoes, because you want something to sop up all that sauce. I just fried me some cabbage back there, so I'm gonna enjoy mine with cabbage. Thank you guys so much for watching another episode of Cooking with Lauren. I really hope that you enjoyed today's video, and I really hope that you remake this chicken stew at home. I'm telling you, it's so good and it's perfect for your soul. Like, you need this for your soul. But yeah, I will see you guys in next week's video. Same time, same place, different recipe. Bye guys.